Hello, universe. Welcome to my world. Many of you will know someone who's very good with what they do, maybe a specialist, maybe a scientist or a history professor. And if you sit down and talk with them, the details that they can explain to you are just amazing. But it's not quite the same for a musician or a singer. It's not so much the explanations they can offer you, it's how they express themselves, which can be amazing and which can tell you so much about them. And that's the direction we're going in today's video. Normally when I make videos, it's a one-man operation. I do it all myself. But today is a collaboration with Mr. Most of AJ Playlists, who has made a compilation of 50 performances of Angelina doing Fly Me to the Moon. And I have looked through those and made a story out of those 50 video performances to illustrate Angelina's talent. Mr. Most's channel is quite phenomenal. He really is an encyclopedia, and he has all sorts of compilations and references and indexes. And it is thanks to Mr. Most that I have just finished making a follow-up to Born to Sing. We're not calling it Born to Sing Part 2. We're going to call it The Turning Point. But I looked through 80 videos on his channel to compile the material for what Pontus and I will be publishing in the next few months. So let's look at Angelina's different versions of Fly Me to the Moon and put them in context. The song Fly Me to the Moon finishes with the three words, I love you, which is probably one of the most emotive three words in the English language, and therefore it can be some of the most emotive words in song as well. But to put it in context, rather than listening to the last three words of the song, let's listen to the last 6 words, where she's singing, in other words, I love you. Some of the examples may not be from the very end of the song, but it is the variety of different approaches and the way she expresses herself which is most important. Let's start by hearing 2 versions of Angelina, which are rather plain and ordinary when she sings I love you.
In other words, I love you. In other words, I love you.
But by contrast, the next 2 examples we will listen to, when she sings I love you, she sings it very tenderly. With the next example, it's very interesting because there's a big contrast between the 3 words, in other words, to the next 3 words, I love you. And also there's a contrast when she's singing at a private wedding in California between those same 6 words. And she finishes this performance with her arms outspread to show that she is embracing the audience with her love. And here she is again embracing the audience with her love with the same 6 words. Next, she's in the desert, and when she reaches I love you, she softens it greatly.
In other words, I love you.
The next version, she's starting with a belt, and she almost sings I love you twice. She does the I, and then there's a pause, and then she resumes with I love you. The next two versions, she does these words with a belt. It probably has to do with the full musical accompaniment she has with the band. And with both of them, there's a syncopated pause before she reaches the very last word, you. And with the second performance, during the pause, watch her left hand keeping the beat. The next performance, Angelina, is in bouncy mode because the musical accompaniment is very bouncy with this one. The next two versions are rehearsals, and with these two versions, she does not put her heart and soul into it so much, and she's a little bit on automatic pilot, especially in the second one. In addition to all that, when you're a singer, there must be good and clear communication with your musicians. It's almost like a dance partnership. You have to be on the same wavelength so that you don't step on each other's toes and that you coordinate. Here are two examples of Angelina performing where she has this non-verbal communication with her musicians, where they communicate with each other. Fascinating. And there are so many different variations to the musical accompaniment, but Angelina's performance remains consistent despite the musical accompaniment. Here she is, very young, soon after Norway's Got Talent, performing with Egil on the guitar for the Norwegian Prime Minister. Egil's accompaniment in this performance is very subdued. As opposed to Egil's performance in this version, where his strumming is much stronger and much more a factor in the song. And here Egil's guitar is even stronger and more vigorous and accompanied by the piano. And for those of you who like the exaggerated movement of Egil's head when he's performing, you're in for a treat. The next musical accompaniment, really to me, is more like lounge music. And here Angelina's performance in concert is much more easily to recognize. I would call this a jazz band who are backing her.
Fly me to the moon then let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand.
And here, when she gave her concert in Norway, the musical accompaniment is more bossa nova. And yet, for all of these different musical accompaniments, Angelina's performance is more or less the same.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see if spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me.
In English, we have an expression, the devil is in the detail, especially if you're about to sign a contract. But here, with today's video, the genius is in the detail. All the fine points that show Angelina's talent and how she approaches. And it's also in the nature of being a jazz singer that she has all these wonderful variations. We will continue to explore the wonderful variations of Angelina in the future. Okay, gang, I'm out of here. I'll catch you later.